How's everybody doing tonight? If I'm not mistaken, let me see here. I'm just wave my hand to see if I see it show up on Twitter. So, just to recap, I was streaming on. Okay, yeah, there's my hand on Twitter. Okay, so I was streaming on YouTube for I don't know a year and a half, something like that. And then one night, they cut my stream and banned my account. The reason they gave was that the AI detected me handling a firearm, and I protested, and they were like, "No, your protest isn't accepted." So then I went into, I'll just start unboxing this as I talk. So then I went to, I don't know, some live chat creator support or something like that, and I explained how it was a model. I mean, you see how this is like ROKR, Stag, Beetle. So this other thing was ROKR, same company, but it was a wooden puzzle, and it was a submachine gun. And their AI detected as like handling firearm on a live stream, and it auto banned my account. So my account was like banned for 5 days. And while it was banned, I live streamed on Rumble. So then when it became unbanned, a week or two ago, whatever, I started simulcasting like to YouTube and Rumble just because I could. So then it occurred to me today, like, the social media that I interact with most is Twitter. And people on Twitter don't even know that I have a live stream. So I wondered, like, could I live stream? Could I also simulcast to Twitter? So then I went on, like, I don't know, I Googled it or whatever, and it said that you could. And the instructions were exactly the same for how you simulcast to Rumble. So I just did it. This is the first attempt, 5 minutes ago. I'm looking at Twitter right now. It seems to be working, but I think what I'm looking at is like you can't see it, but you can see this, which is the instructions. What I'm looking at on my screen is like, I don't know, some behind the scenes look at the Twitter. But then I have a second tab, which is also showing it. But then it's like, there's like, I would see replies, I think. Like I could post replies, I could see the replies. I actually see on the side, it says like live on X, John Rapp is hosting ROKR Stag Beetle Day 5, Just Rest Your Eyes, JRYE number 452. I don't know who that's going to attract. I assume nobody. Actually, there's 2 viewers, but that could be me, because I have the control room open in one tab and the live stream in another, so there actually might not be anybody here. If there is, welcome. All right, so anyway, I'm going to start building this puzzle. I may not go that long, just because it's the first night on Twitter, and I don't know. I feel like I'm going to jump around trying to figure out how things are working, so I may not go that deep into the puzzle tonight. So the previous nights, we don't have a lot to show for considering we're up to day 5, but we did the base, and we did this like flappy wings thing here. It's actually, I think, yeah, we were like testing this. If we turned this part, the wings flap, yeah, I think it's not going to turn from that. I think that's going to get turned, and the power is going to come from here, but whatever. And you can see in there probably ultimately where the power is going to come from, and then there's a battery pack on the other side. So we're going to be working on that today. And who knows what will get done. So I got the tools here. Nippers, screwdriver, emery board. All right, and then there's a bunch of pieces in there. So according to the scoreboard, we were on page 11. So let's find page 11. This is page 25. You can see that there, page 25. So I guess we have to get to page 11. So even though I have my computer on the lowest possible volume, you can still hear it somehow. And now I'm hearing like 3 live streams go at once, which is kind of insane. And there's also the headphones are plugged into the monitor. So I hear headphone volume through that. So it's kind of crazy. A lot of live streaming, especially this particular way that I'm doing it, just like sitting at this desk by myself, I'll tell you a lot of it is eerie. The whole idea that I'm talking to no one. Potentially there's people listening, and I would welcome people interacting via chat, but if not, then I'm kind of talking to myself, and then I'm hearing echoes because of the monitor and the multiple feeds, and then I'm building all these like puzzles that I have nothing to do with, but I'm being sent them, so I'm putting them together. I don't know, it's all very weird. I don't think I zoomed this camera in yet. All right, so there you can see the ROKR. I'm gonna keep that zoomed in. I just zoomed that in for whatever reason. All right. So what are we doing today? I guess we're working with board A. Specifically what we're doing, it looks like we're starting with some new pieces. Bad timing for something. I need a minute. I'm just going to mute my mic. I'll be back in a minute. All right, I'm back. Microphone's back on. So one thing I forgot to mention is you can interact not only by text chat, but voice or video. So if anyone wants, I can send them a link and they could join the broadcast either by voice only or they can be on video. They can, like, I send you the link, you turn your webcam, and suddenly you're a guest on the show. But until that, so I'll kind of periodically check to see if there's any comments in chat and any requests for link. Maybe every 10 minutes I'll check. Until then, I'll be just building away here. All right. So we're starting segment 4 on page 11. It says bag 2, piece P12. Remove its protective cover before assembly. Sand cutting points with sandpaper. All right. They're actually talking about piece A7 there. So I don't know why they're mentioning P2. Oh, okay. P2 is that larger piece. A7 is the piece that I think you need to cut sand cutting points. Okay, so P12, we have to remove some cover. And then A7, we have to sand the cutting points. And then there's a screw, which is P22, that's in bag 4. All right, so 3 pieces here. So that's going to bring us up to 55 pieces. That's kind of cool. Page 11, piece 55. All right, anyway, so we need A7 and then P12 and P22, which is just a screw, in bag 4. Is 4 a bag? Yeah, it is. Bag 4. There's a few different items here in bag 4, so I'm not sure which one they want. Is it a gold screw? All right, let's check it out here. P22. It's right here. Actually, right here. P22, it's a 4mm gold screw. And here's everything that's in bag 4. That's the only screw. So we need one of the gold screws from this bag. You can see it there. It's very tiny. I'm not even sure if you're getting the best view of that. Yeah. There we go. Slightly better. Just take my word for it. There's a gold screw in this bag. It's like the world's tiniest screw, but it's there. And then A7, that's going to be a plastic piece. And then I don't know what this P12 is. I guess it's in a bag if it's P12, but it says bag 2. I didn't see that piece. I guess we're going to find out. All right, did I manage to grab a screw? I think I got 2 of them. Only need 1. Put 1 back. How are these different sizes? No, they're the same size. Okay. Wasn't sure. All right. Now, okay. Here's bag 2. So that piece is actually a circuit board. At least that's what I think it is. Oh, there's the protective cover. Remember it said, like, remove its protective cover? That's the protective cover. So there's 2 rods there. And I believe those 2 rods, I'm just guessing here, they're probably going to make a connection because you can see those 2 pieces of metal in there. They look like the same amount apart. They're probably going to push those in. Probably they're spring loaded. It's probably going to create a connection. And then that's how the power is going to travel from the battery through the connection, through these wires. I don't know. What is that? Ground and power? It's the same color scheme as your car battery. And then it's going to rotate, if you can see inside of there. You see, if I flap these wings, you'll see that piece moving, right? Look in this little window. So you can see how those wings are attached. And that's going to turn through the power. I think so. Let's put it together and see how it works. That would be my guess. They used to call them printed circuit boards, but at some point, I guess they just started calling them circuit boards. There was a time when they weren't printed, 40 years ago or whatever, but I guess nowadays they all are. All right, so there's the screw. Here's the circuit board. This is probably garbage, but I won't throw it out yet. And then we need a piece A7. So let's find the A board. Here it is. A7. There's 7. Doesn't look like it. Maybe on this side? Yeah, there we go. So it's got 3 connectors there. So we're going to grab our little nippers and nip that out. There it is. Kind of looks like a camera, if you put it this way. I don't know. You can think whatever you want. I think it kind of looks like a camera. All right, so we're going to try to nip it close. But even if we don't get it close, then we're going to use the emery board to try to get it. Sand away any plastic that gets still stuck there. Okay. Well, it's definitely going to be plastic stuck there because it didn't even fall out. All right. I don't remember which 3 sides, so I'm going to feel all 4 sides. That one's smooth. This one's not. Probably every side that's not smooth, we're going to hit with the emery board until it is smooth. And then we're going to finally start assembling for the night. Amazing that we haven't started yet. All right. Well, how do we do this? Okay. Circuit board. We're going to flip it over. Have these two rods going down. Have this piece that sticks out going that way. And then this screw is going to hold on this piece. And it's going to go through. I'm not sure which of these. I think it goes through the. You probably can't even see these things. There's two little circles here. And they look like they're the same size. And it's tough to say, but I believe they want the screw in the back one. And it will probably will be able to tell by looking at this piece. Like one of them. Oh, that's interesting. There's two bumps. I was thinking one would be a bump and it would go in this hole, and one would be a receiver and the screw would go through it, but it looks like, well, to the naked eye, they look like two bumps. Let's see on this camera. Yeah, on the camera, okay. One's a bump, one's a receiver, which is what I expected, but I couldn't see with my eyes. They look like two bumps. But on this camera, when we get the right angle, you can see, yeah, the first one's a bump, second one's a hole. So we're going to get the bump through, and then the hole should line up, waiting for the screw to go through. Yeah, I feel the bump went in. So you probably couldn't see that because I don't think I kept it on camera, but take my word for it, that bump is now through the second hole. Just trying to get an angle to hold it from. And now there's one hole left here. It looks huge on this camera. It's not, I assure you. It's actually almost nothing. It still looks visible, though. Well, it's eye-catching, I guess. All right, so that's where the screw goes. They put like a ring around it. That's what makes it visible. I can't believe that I can see that. I don't know. Am I like, I feel like my eyes are, you know, like when an athlete is in the zone, I feel like they're making me see that circle like it's like the biggest circle in the world, but really it's tiny. It's like a baseball player will sometimes describe when they're locked in, it feels like they're hitting a beach ball. I actually had that experience 35 years ago when I worked on a landscaping crew. The first year I was there, I was often on the weed whacker, and I didn't wear the goggles. So the first week I kept getting hit in the eye with spiraling pieces of grass. Now, of course, the first week it hits you in the eye and you're like, what is that? You have no idea. But then as you keep doing it, if you don't put on the goggles, eventually you start to spot, as they come off the weed whacker, you spot the one that's heading for your eye, and you can like see it spiraling the whole way, and then you like catch it, just like catching a baseball at the second it's about to hit your eye, which is like, seems like a superhuman feat, like something from Spider-Man. But if you run the weed whacker all day, it's like self-preservation. Your mind will figure that out, and you'll be able to spot the one that's the blade of grass that's heading for your eye. So yeah, so I had that feeling looking at this circle a minute ago. It looks like, I mean, I guess it's just a tiny circle, like the screw is tiny, I can't even get a hold on it, but for some reason I'm seeing it like clear as day, like it takes up the whole screen and I can't miss. Well, I definitely can't get this screw on right now. Let's try again. I think I got it this time. All right. I hold the other side. I don't want to screw it too hard because it's a circuit board. It's a microchip. I don't want to smash it. I don't want to snap it. All right. I put it in reasonably tight. It's in there. The screw is in there. All right. So we're done with segment panel 1 of segment 4. Here's panel 2, which is just putting in 2 more screws. Before I grab those screws, let's say hi to Key Hopkins. I'll just mention, I'm going to put it on screen just so you can see, and then I'm going to go to the other 2 screens. So this is now simulcast. So there's Key. He gives a thumbs up, and I return his thumbs up. And I'll just mention that this is now streaming to both Rumble and Twitter, so I'm checking those out right now to see if there's any activity there. I think I still don't even understand how the Twitter one works. I'm going to try to put a post on the Twitter one myself. I'm just going to call it test post because I don't even know what's going to happen. All right, test post. I think it's not going to be picked up by the YOLO box. Yeah, okay, it just shows up on Twitter. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on Twitter if I want to see anything going on there. It shows 0 viewers now, which means that when it was 2 viewers before, they were probably legit viewers, which is interesting. It's probably just, people seeing a stream for the first time. And they're like, hey, what's that? Oh, a guy building a model. I don't need to see this. Anyway, all right, so bag 6 has the P28s, and we need 2 of them. So that brings us to 57 pieces. And we're going to use them to attach this circuit board to the underside of this, whatever, the body of this Stag Beetle, I guess. All right, so bag 6. Is there a bag 6, or was it one of those little... Yeah, I think it was one of those like things that we ripped and all the screws fell out. Yeah, P28. So I think these are the screws. They all fell out of that little. They didn't give us a Ziploc for 6. They just it was one of those bags where you tear it and then you can't close it. So all the screws fell out. So I put them in bag 1 because bag 1 did have a Ziploc. So anyway, now we need 2 of these. Can you believe I pulled out a nut? There's like mostly just these screws in here. But there's a couple other things, and I managed to pull one of them out. There's another screw. And there's the nut. I don't know if you even can see that. I promise you it's there. This is it. This little nut. Let's see if we can get that to show up. That's worse. Nope, we can't get this to show up. There. Okay, that's the best we can do. Trust me, that's a nut. It's like a tiny nut, but it's a nut. Those lights aren't real, by the way. They come from camera 2. If I go to camera 2, you don't see them. Yep, that's one of the things. Oh, I somehow dropped more screws. Here's another one. Alright, but these 2, if you can see them, those are the 2 we're actually going to use. Alright, now, how do we do this? Alright, we pick this up. The body of the Beetle. We flip it over so that we can see these 4 receivers. We're going to spin it so that the wire's facing us. You don't need to do this, but I find that if I hold it the same way it is in the instructions, there's less chance of me messing up. Alright, so now I'm going to take this piece, which we just built a minute ago. Spin that as well. So there's 2 close together circles up top, 2 far at the bottom. The 2 far at the bottom I think they're going to line up with those two. I'm not sure, though. Maybe not. Definitely this circle here is going to line up with that circle. So let's see if that works. It does. All right, so we're putting one screw here, one screw here. It's slow going on this model because the pieces are so small. The smaller the pieces are, the tougher it is to do everything, in my opinion. There probably comes a point when big becomes a problem, but we're nowhere near that point. Right now, small is the problem. These pieces are so small, you can barely see them, let alone hold them. All right, so right now the screw is like magnetically attached to the screwdriver, but not on the end of it, which is where it needs to be. All right, there we go. Now it's on the end. Let's try to line that screw up, drive it in. All right. That could have went worse. It went not so bad. All right, there's camera 4 again. I don't know, camera 4 is like rough tonight. It's like I think I zoomed it too close. Probably should zoom it out a little bit. It's good though. I can tell if the screw is like in too far or not. I think it's not in far enough yet. Wow, we cannot get this in focus. All right, there's the screw we're looking at. This one's definitely way out. Look at that. The screw is like 4 millimeters, but it looks humongous on this camera. It's not going in, by the way. I don't know if I'm breaking it or doing it correctly. It's a little bit still, it's not quite in. Yeah, I got a little further to go. So this is probably going to be the belly of the Beetle, because these connectors to the electricity obviously going to go on the bottom. All right, how much is that screw sticking out? A little bit. Gotta get that further in. All right, I think we're good in terms of getting those screws in. All right. So those 2 screws, yeah, we started at 52. We went to 55, 57. All right, what do we got here? Arrange the wires in the order as shown. Okay, so we need to arrange these wires or something. All right, so it looks like they have to pass 2 points. Not sure where the first point is. The second point is here. That's where they need to go. So if you look at the instructions, the wires need to go in here. But they also need to loop around something. And that something is up here. But what is it? This little nothing here? Is that what they want? I think so. I don't know how it's going to stay there. All right. No, that was only the red wire. Black wire didn't go in. I tell you, this is really tiny. I don't know who can see this with their eyes. I can only see it on the camera. All right, so the screw is that? It's still unclear to me what they wanted to loop around up top. Maybe all the way back here? There's like something back here. What do you think? No, I think Even though I don't see anything here, I think it's done correctly. I think this would be too far. Yeah, that would be too far. What do you think? Yeah. Okay. I'm having a hard time telling if this is in the right place or not. I think that it is, so I'm going to move on. So the wire goes back behind that screw, goes around the side, and in through the chip. I can't get this in focus to show you, but there it is. I have to get off that camera because it looks terrible. It's out of focus, but let's see from this camera if you can see. So the cable comes out here, goes behind this screw, goes around the side, and then tucks in here. There you go. That's what it does. Ooh, what's going on here? Some connection on the next panel. Pay attention to the direction of the terminals. All right. So where's that terminal? Oh, it's on the circuit board. Nice. So it's not traveling anywhere. It's going to connect right to the circuit board. Yeah, there we go. So just to show you what's going on here, there are these two, they look like miniature telephone jacks or Ethernet ports. This wiring is going to go into, I think, the one on the left. It's kind of hard to say. Why are there two of them? Well, I guess something else is going to go in the other one. I'm pretty sure they wanted the one on the left. And rather than saying the left, let me say, if you look at the blue where the cord goes through, it's almost like an L1 or an L7 if you want to think of it that way. Anyway, the L, it's the receiver on the same side as the L. There's a little bit of writing there, but I think it's, I don't know if the writing is different for each one or if it's the same. I can't make out that writing. Yeah, I can't make that out. Oh, no, I can. P1 and P9. All right, so guess what? It doesn't say. The instruction books don't say if it goes into P1 or P9. I'm glad that we were able to make out what it said on the circuit board, but it doesn't tell us anything. The instructions don't say. All right, I'm going to put it in the P9. I don't know if that's correct or not. And then the next thing to be aware of is which way you put it in. So there's like a busy end where you can see the connectors and a clean end where you see only the plastic. The clean end faces up, the busy end faces down. And I'm putting it in the left side, the side with the L, the receiver labeled P9. That's where I'm putting the connector in. We won't know if it works until much later on in the project, but hopefully that's correct. It's in. We got it in there. I just kind of was feeling my way around, and then it felt like it went in, and I guess it did. See, it's blurry again. I didn't touch the camera, but now you can no longer read the P1. Okay, from this distance you can. All right, anyway, it's in the P9. I think it's in far enough, but I'm not really sure. Again, we don't increment the piece counter. There were no pieces there. Suggest to use screwdriver to assemble terminals. Who said anything about assembling terminals? Oh, okay, that was a helpful hint. So putting that cable into the terminal, which we did with our fingers, apparently there was a suggestion made that we can use the screwdriver. We didn't do that. All right, completed as shown. Yeah, need to be pinched tightly. Okay, so did we pinch this tightly? All right, let's use the screwdriver. Make sure it's, pinched tightly, as they say. I don't think it's going any further. It's pinched tightly. All right, so now this wire is here. I don't think it matters. It kind of came out. That spot we put it in, it kind of came out. I think I can maybe tug it here a little bit. Make it a little snugger. A little bit more snug. I don't know if snugger is a word. I know snuggle's a word. Snug is a bug in a rug. This thing is not staying here. I don't know. I don't think it matters, but it's not staying there. All right. We're going to go to page 12 in a second. The last thing it says is, please insert the wire into the groove. Yeah, we already did that like 3 panels ago. I don't know why they're bringing that up now. Is there another groove? Insert the wire into the groove. All right, the wire is still in the groove. I'm not sure what they're referring to there. I think we already did it. So we're moving on to page 12. All right. I'm going to take a quick check on. All right. So, wow, it's going to look like quite assembled at the end of segment 5. All right. The first, trim cutting points twice. Okay. That was just instructions on trimming. All right. B1, B3, and B9. And they're going to hold on. B1 is the big piece. B3 and B9 are these like symmetric pieces. And they're going to be, there's going to be 2 P28s, which are that bag of screws that we have here. 2 P28s. So that's 5 pieces. That brings us to 62 pieces. Before I grab those pieces, I'm going to check if any more comments. You can comment anything, and I'll start talking about whatever you comment. All right, test post. It's still the only thing going on there. Okay. It just occurs to me, I don't know how to end the stream on Twitter. But I guess I'll figure it out. All right, time for B1. I don't know if we even have the B bag. We probably do. Because here's the D bag. That's the only one we don't have out. I think I'm just going to throw out this bag. If the only thing in it is the D bag, the D board. No, there's another board in here. This is also the D board. What? There are 2 D boards? No, this is an E board. This is the D board. This is the E board. What we're looking for now is the B board. This is garbage. Alright, so there's a big piece. This must be the B board. Yeah, it is, because there it says B, but more importantly, look at this huge piece. That's got to be what we're looking for. Is that B1? That is B1. It's got 4 connectors. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's got 5 connectors. There's a 5th connector here. All right. This is the body of the Stag Beetle. Just make those connections a little smoother when possible. I don't want to take the paint off, but I do want it to be smooth. Just try to be careful. All right, B3 and B9. What are those pieces? There's 3. So 9 should look similar. There's B3. That doesn't really look like B3. This should be B9, right? Let's see there. Is that a 9? Yeah, that's the 9. Alright, there's B3, there's B9. Just take them out in order. Less chance of getting confused as to which is which. I'll put the B3 on the left as sort of a reminder that it's the lower number. It's tough to clip that piece out because it's so small that you're not sure like where to clip. Like you don't want to break the piece. You only want to clip the connector. Alright, there's B9. And then we need 2 P28s, which are these screws. So we're just going to screw whatever the heck these pieces are onto this body of the Stag Beetle. We're not connecting it to anything yet. We're just screwing them on. Pulled out a washer. I couldn't do that if I tried, but I did it by accident. There's that body of the Beetle. And there's B3, there's B9, and there's 2 P28s, if you can see them. Alright, so if we take this B1 and we put the rounded edge pointing towards us, then the B3 goes on the left side. And it's going to connect to this circle here. Right there. Which way does it go? I think this post on the inside. I think that's how it goes. And then the screw comes up from the bottom. So I think I'm going to put the screw in first. Like this. And then sort of hold the screw in place while we get the piece on top, and then screw it in. That's what I'm thinking, but it may need to be screwed in first, just because I can't control this piece. It's so tiny. Alright, so let's see here. That's the hole. Yeah, that looks good. All right. Now the B3 goes on top. And screw it in. It only connects at one end, which makes me wonder if this piece is going to have movement. They didn't ask us to grease it. Oh, it connects at this end. There's just a plastic connector at that end. Okay, so there's definitely not going to be any movement. So, just to give you a close-up view. So, this is the B3. This is the B3 here. But B9 is going to go here, and the screw is going to go through this hole. But then there's a plastic piece that's going to go in there. So that's what kind of holds it in place. A screw at the back and a plastic piece in the front. That screw is so tiny. I can't even see it. I think I got it. Wow, I think so. And there's the plastic piece. Okay. You gotta really like this tiny pieces to work on this puzzle. Alright, let's get the screw in. Where's B9? How did I manage to lose B9? Alright, it's under the wing. It was under the wing of the Beetle. No, this goes like this, right? Yeah. Because that little plastic piece is going to connect at front. Might as well connect the plastic piece first. If you can, at least get it lined up. Yeah, there we go. And then the screw is going to bring together the back, because you can just pinch that square in place. There we go. Nice. See, now we know what we're doing. On the first one, we were kind of just feeling our way around. But on now we know what we're doing. Looks good. Alright, what up next? Trim cutting points twice. Okay. B2. So we're just putting on one more piece, B2. And it's just plastic on plastic? Let's take a look at that. It looks like right there. That's where the B2 is going to go. I think so. Let's take a look at this B2 piece. Alright, that's piece number 63. Alright, B2. Is that it, right? B2. That's it. Why did it say to trim it twice? Do they mean there's just two connectors? Or do they actually mean trim it twice? Okay, yeah, you definitely need to trim it twice. Because there's two connectors. But I don't know that you need to trim the same connection twice. I don't even feel like I need to sand this. I mean, I'll sand it a little bit, but I honestly don't feel any plastic. Alright, now. There's 3 connections at top, and they're painted. There's 2 connections at bottom, and they aren't. And then there's something here, which I think I want to sand. Hopefully I'm not wrong about that. It did say to nip it twice. Now, it goes into those, no, it goes into those 2 holes, and it's the back 2 pins, meaning that the front, there's like some empty space in the front, and that's going to line up with this. Basically, hit that oval. This piece should go into the oval. It's interesting that there's paint on this side. It means that it's going to be visible. They wouldn't paint it if it's going to be in the middle of the bug. So this is somehow going to be visible. Well, we're going to find out some other night. I'm just going to check. And if there's no questions in chat, then I'm going to sign off. Just because it's the first night doing Twitter, and I'm not even sure how that's working. So I'm John Rapp. This is Just Rest Your Eyes. Good night, and see you tomorrow.